Dear Diary, the seagulls came again today. They often hear my tapping and stare curiously at my tiny stature dimly lit through the dark glass. I can only imagine my fate if they could actually reach me. It would be a far better fate than being trapped in here any longer. Each day I wonder, how many years shall I remain in here alone? How long has it been? I have been in my bottle, my prison, for 2,000 years, cast into the angry Arabian Sea from the shores of my home in Baghdad by the evil and wicked blue jinn. Now, diary, it is true, I do not hate easily. It is not pleasant to hate. Such a thing canst consume thee and become all that thou canst feel. But after centuries trapped in this bottle, I have conceived so many evil thoughts in regards to that evil and cruel blue jinn for cursing me to an eternity imprisoned in this glass cell. Why hast he done this, dost thou ask? I refused to marry him. I was nothing more than a happy young girl, content in joy and gladness in the bosom of my family. Why wouldst I marry such a foul creature? So for nearly 1,000 years I floated from ocean to ocean until I reached my home here on this foreign island. I have remained here now for centuries upon centuries. Thankfully, the tide carried my bottle high enough into the sands and kindly set me upright. And the birds keep me company. I see them enjoying the freedom of flight around what I can't see of this beautiful island. I can feel the warmth of the sun through my bottle, and it has warmed my soul. What I would give to walk along the beach beyond my glass prison and feel the warmth of the sand below my feet, to breathe the fresh ocean air and feel the wind blow against my face. Alas, dearest diary, that is joy I fear shall never come, for I have been cursed. I am a genie, a creature many are forewarned to fear. Surely, diary, thou must know that genies are quite often evil tricksters, malevolent beings who only take joy in granting their master's wishes on their own terms. Oftentimes, genies grant wishes literally and take joy in watching their master in agony as their wish is granted. This is oft the cause of so many years of imprisonment. After all, centuries of solitary confinement does have awful effect on one's temperament. For 2,000 years now, my compassionate and caring sense of self has endured. But, dearest diary, how long shall I persevere? I cannot dwell on such things. You must adventure the thought that as a genie, I could whisk myself from this prison. Darest I say it? I wish. Well, I possess what I believe are unlimited powers. I have no power over the cork that imprisons me in my bottle. If only my feathered friends outside could help. But alas, they cannot. If they could, I have no knowledge of how I would leave this bottle. Truly, I am imprisoned. Jeannie. Dear Diary, I am filled with sadness again today, as I have been for the last 2,000 years. Oh, if only it helped to cry. I fear I have run out of tears to shed. Tears for my mother, who must have lost hope in finding me a millennia ago. Tears for my father, who surely searched the farthest sands to no avail. My dear sister, who too was only a young girl, now an only child. Tears for my darling little dog, Jin Jin, who came to me cowering when the palace guards were cruel to him. Tears for Sim, my lion, whose future was surely darker without my caring hands. Tears for all of them, diary. Finally, diary, tears for me, as I am all alone and likely will remain until the sands of time cease to pour through the hourglass of eternity. Alas, diary, not only am I all out of tears, but my strength to cry has finally run dry as well. I sit here, year after year, watching the tides crash in the distance as the sun rises and sets, with only my memories to keep me company. Memories, I fear, will soon fade into oblivion. And, diary, I will truly be cursed, without memory of myself and who I once was, imprisoned here in eternal solitude in this bottle. Jeannie.
All systems A-OK. 10 seconds to firing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Started control. Fair flight.
Keep going, baby. Final stage misfired. He won't be able to maintain orbit.
Control to Stardust 1. Control to Stardust 1. Come in, Tony.
Started one. Go. Get out of there.
The final stage rocket misfired. We're gonna have to bring you back. Stand by.
This is General Stone. We have an emergency. Stardust 1 is coming down. Alert the 7th Fleet.
Dear Diary, today I saw a great streak of light in the sky and heard a boom of thunder. Oh, it frightened me as the sky was clear and warm and blue. Oh, Diary, have I existed here so long only to finally witness the end of the earth itself? The great streak in the sky crashed into the ocean, and I watched it bobble in the water. Perhaps it was a huge genie bottle cast from the heavens into these waters of the earth by Allah himself. If it was, this genie could get out, for I saw the lid blown high into the air above it, and I saw from within the bottle a figure emerged, and that it was a man. Oh, Diary, is it true? Oh, truly, a man was escaping from the oddly shaped bottle in which he was imprisoned. Oh, Diary, he must be an immensely powerful jinn to escape from the bottle of Allah. Through my bottle, I could see him swimming to shore. When he reached the sand, I could see that he was exhausted. Oh, maybe he's not a jinn after all. Perhaps he is a mortal man. Oh, if only I could help him. I tapped on the glass of my bottle, desperate for him to notice me. Alas, he did not. Sitting down again, I watched as he began to make shapes in the sand. A snake, a circle, and another snake. What couldst it mean? I stood and summoned all the strength I couldst imagine and threw my tiny frame against the glass wall of my bottle. Much to my shock, my bottle rolled towards him. After coming to a rest, I saw that he still did not take notice. Oh, I prayed that he would see me. After all these years, might I finally be freed by this man? I pushed again and watched as I slid and rolled again closer. Before I could believe my eyes, his hand picked my bottle up. I steadied myself against the pillows and watched through the glass as he turned and set me back down. Diary, after 2,000 years, I would not let this moment be lost. I threw myself against the glass walls of my prison harder than I thought possible. As I struggled to hold myself together, I felt my bottle being lifted yet again. Looking up through the dark glass, Oh, I thought my heart would leap out of my mouth when I saw the man's face. Oh, I prayed he would release me. Before the prayer could find way from my lips, the man with the wise and handsome face pulled the cork from my bottle. Oh, suddenly, two things happened at once. After 2,000 years, I realized I truly have no idea how to leave my bottle. Secondly, he rubbed sand off the bottle, and in doing so, he instantly invoked the summoning law of the great jinn, something I could not ignore. Diary, beyond my own control, my body became that of smoke. This allowed me to pour up and out of the mouth of the bottle. Oh, dearest diary, after 2,000 years, I was free. When I smoked out of my bottle and materialized before him as a woman, my original form, he appeared to be truly startled. Oh, diary, after breathing in my first breath of fresh air in 2,000 years, I realized that I had forgotten myself. I knelt before him and told him, according to the ancient laws of the great jinn by which I am bound, that his wish was my command. I looked up at his wise and handsome face. He did not tell me to rise. I do not believe he understood me. I stood slowly and walked toward him. With each step, I came to realize that not only was his the wisest and most handsome face I had ever seen, but there was something else. I did not realize it at first, but this, dearest diary, is how it felt to fall in love. He seemed so surprised to see me, and even more surprised when I kissed him. He said words to me I did not understand.
I must have gone further into orbit than I thought.
How canst I make him know that I was now his genie, and that he was my master for eternity and all time after? Surprise! My beautiful darling master was trying his best to communicate his thoughts to me. I thought he wanted a great falcon. I folded my arms, and with a flutter of my eyelids, I produced a beautiful falcon for him. The concerned look on his face told me that I was wrong. He was also pleased with the boat I made for him. Diary, I can't not lie. I was unsure of my abilities as a genie. Was I using the wrong technique? Folding my arms, fluttering, blinking my eyes? Well, it seemed natural to me, but the results did not meet expectation. Then he spoke the words which I knew the great jinn heard as I finally understood what he was asking of me.
Jeannie, I wish you could speak English.
Usually, Darian, somehow I must find a way to please thee, master. After becoming exuberant that our communication problems were solved, he asked me to blink him a large bird called a helicopter. I thought the falcon was a more suitable pet for my new master, but if it pleases him, that is all that matters. He described this helicopter creature to me, so I concentrated on his request, folded my arms again, blinked my eyes, and diary, if my master's reaction was any sign, my powers are in full force and effect. So, I does not understand how this helicopter is better than a falcon. It is really quite loud and unattractive. After running around shouting, he rushed back to me and he thanked me and said he was setting me free. Oh, that beautiful silly man. I had to tell him that I was free by his hand. I was free to be his genie and grant him any wish he so desired. But he would not listen to me. Diary, after so many years of being alone in my prison, can it be that the most wonderful master in the whole world is leaving me? No, I will not permit it. He will come to love me. He must only get to know me first. Yet if he leaves me, how shall this come to pass? Then I had a thought. I blinked into my bottle again, as terrifying as that was, and rolled it into the satchel my master was carrying with him to the large, noisy bird. More after this adventure in the bird. Jeannie. Dear Diary, well, it is not a palace, but it is very pleasant. My master will be so happy to find me here when he returns. Truly, he does not live like a sultan, but he has many odd inventions in these meager rooms. From metal spouts all about his home, water flows. I can turn it on and off at will and make it any temperature without magic. My master has something else that amazes me, a magic box. It sits in the middle of the largest room, dark and motionless. I stared at the large glass eye a long time before I gathered the courage to examine it more closely. It seems the magic does not work unless you push and pull and turn the metal levers in the top corner. Oh, it frightens me, Diary. Perhaps my master is a djinn after all. When I turned the knob on the box, its magic came to life. I ran across the room and hid behind my master's divan. There, I felt safe enough to watch the magic on the box. For several hours, I watched people of all colors in many different places have many different conversations. I thought at first that they were speaking to me. Only a moment ago, a man's voice on the magic box called to me and asked me if I had soft, smooth, young-looking skin. I told him, yes, I think I do. But he did not seem to hear me. I must ask my master about this magic box when he returns home. Until then, I will play with the water spouts. Jeannie. Dear Diary, I was letting the spout in the room next to my master's sleeping chamber wash all over me when I heard my master's voice. I dried myself and put on one of my master's garments. Did I hear another voice other than my master's? I opened the door to find him with a black-haired demon. She looked at me as if her eyes were armed with daggers. I do not like this one. She is made of ice. She could never make my master happy. Before I could speak, she demanded to know what I, a girl, was doing there. It tickled me, Diary, how angry she seemed to be. It tickled me even more when my master tried to tell her I wasn't real. She did not entertain that suggestion for a moment and stormed out. When she had gone, I felt I had to speak to my master of this one. What was that one doing here, master?
That one was my fiancée.
Ha! Thou art kidding. To my horror, I discovered that they truly were to be married. Marriage is supposed to make one happy. If indeed my master looked happy, I would serve them both with pleasure. Truly, I would. But my master does not look happy. His face twists into one filled with anguish every time her name is even mentioned. This is not the face of a man in love. How anyone could possibly ever be in love with the black-haired demon, I do not know. I explained to him that I could do much more for him than she could. Strangely, he scolded me about how things of that sort are not done in America. Truly, this America is a strange place. My master's home then was filled with the sound of a ringing bell, and after putting a strange device to his ear, he went into a panic. Oh, Diary, this General Stone evoked such fear in my master. Before I could offer to help, my master told me I had to leave. When I told him I was happy here with him, he tried to blink me away. Oh, Diary, this silly man has no idea of what he's doing. He has set me free. I am free to please him, and I shall. Diary, he has no understanding that I am no longer bound to serve his every command. Perhaps I will let him think I am. We shall see how things progress. All things aside, to my chagrin, my master then tried to kill me. No, Diary, that is not being overdramatic. He tricked me into my bottle and allowed me to be thrown into a crushing device. Though terrified, I was screaming in anger. I stopped when I realized that my master was screaming as well. He swiftly rescued me from the jaws of death, even though it did make him look a bit foolish to the people around him. I watched all their faces through the glass. Oh, how funny he seemed to them. Oh, genies must not be a commonality in America. Try as my master did, none of his explanations seemed to satisfy his companions. It was then that I discovered that he wished me to appear before his companions to explain his peculiar behavior. First, he tries to abandon me. Then, he tries to kill me. Then, when he fears ridicule and judgment, he commands me to appear. I may have been trapped in a bottle for 2,000 years, but I was not born yesterday. So, I remained in my bottle, much to my master's dismay. I will not be disposed of one moment, only to be called upon the next. I was sure to make that fact blatantly obvious. As soon as my master's acquaintances left, I told that master of mine I should turn me into a serpent with two heads. It took everything in me not to smirk. The fear in his eyes was more than enough to prove to me that he was sorry for his actions. So, I forgave him. Besides, Diary, hast thou looked into his beautiful blue eyes? I could never hurt him. I watched my master slowly become more relaxed. A bit of levitation helps relax the mind and body. You should try it sometimes, Diary. Truly, he was a new man. He even asked me of my time 2,000 years ago. Words cannot describe it. So I blinked. Instantly I transformed my master's humble abode into that of a true palace, complete with dancing girls. Almost immediately my poor master became a wreck. Is there nothing I can do that will please him? After vanishing in smoke, I watched over him from within the ether. Then, without fail, the black-haired demon returned to my master's palace with her father. As upset as I may have been, Diary, I returned my master's home to its rightful form, though I could not miss out on a little fun. I transformed my clothing into hers, changed my hair to brunette, and mocked her with only my master able to see. Oh, my master was not amused. He looked almost terrified. Oh, Diary, does he not understand that I would never do anything to put him in trouble or danger? How can I make him understand that I only wish to please him? The black-haired demon and her father, General Stone, finally left. I kissed his lips, and this time, Diary, he returned my kiss. But, as with all good things, it seemed that this would not last. He wants me to leave by the time he awakens in the morning. No, Diary, I will stay. With time, I know my master will come to appreciate me. But for now, I will visit him in his dreams. Jeannie.